everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another announcement from IRCC recently, which was given out on November 8th. So guys, last week I just made a video on the immigration level plans announcement which came out recently, and now it's time for another announcement which has been put out by IRCC, and that definitely impact majority of countries' international students. So if you are a student from either of these countries, I'll list right here on the screen, but if you're from India, Pakistan, China, Philippines, Vietnam and all these countries, and if you have come to Canada recently, you might have opted for SDS category, which is student direct stream category. So basically, if you plan to come to Canada as an international student, you opt for either SDS or non-SDS category. SDS category, as I just mentioned, is student direct stream category, and obviously non-SDS is the other way around. And recently Canada announced, and this was a very abrupt and impromptu announcement. There was no waiting period at all. They just put out the announcement like from 2 p.m. we gonna end SDS category altogether. So Canada launched SDS category back in 2018 to support all the international students to provide faster processing time for the student study permit visas. But now they have ended it, and the only reason that they have put out is they want to give all international students across the world fair and equal chances to apply for study permit here in Canada. So now if you are a student who is planning to come to Canada as an international student on study permit, then you can only opt for non-SDS category. Also, if you have already applied for your study permit or study application through the SDS category before 2 p.m. November 8, 2024, it is not gonna impact you. But all the students who are henceforward gonna apply for the study permit visas, they would have to opt for only non-SDS category. That's the only option available. Now let's talk about how does it actually impact all the international students who gonna apply for study permit later in future. What were the actually pros of SDS category that everybody, especially like from India, Pakistan and everyone, they opted for SDS category? The first and major thing was the processing time. So if anyone applies through SDS category, the whole processing time would take about 20 business days. That is the actual timelines. But if you apply through non-SDS category, it could take from 3 months to 4 months to 6 months as well. There was a time when I actually applied for study permit for Canada about 2 years back. Even for the SDS category, it was taking about 3 to 4 months, but because of again the number of applications that were being put out through SDS category. But in general, if you apply through SDS categories, obviously it takes much lesser time as compared to non-SDS categories. The second pro for SDS category is the streamlined process, and it means less documentation. So if you ever apply through SDS category, all you have to provide is your 1 year of tuition fee for either of your college or university that you're applying to, then proof of your GIC payment, acceptance letter from your college or university, and your medical report or medical certification for the medical that you have got done. That's all you need to provide for SDS category. But on the other hand, non-SDS category is not that straightforward. They have a lot of other requirements. It's also a bit confusing because everyone get confused what exactly they need to provide. You still have to provide GIC, that's for sure, and also the acceptance letter. But apart from that, you have to provide a lot more financial documents to prove that you have enough funds and not just 1 year of your tuition fee. You also have to provide other documents like your 12th standard degree, also the percentage, like 55% or something is the minimum requirement. And if you have done your undergraduation back from your home country, then you also have to provide the degree certificate, and also there is a minimum requirement of percentage for that. Along with that, you have to provide your ITR receipts for past 3 years, and also like if you have done some sort of employment back in your home country, you have to also provide proofs and details of that. So it's not that straightforward. And that's why it gets more confusing, because then if you get rejection, you sometimes don't know where you lagged. The third pro is, and also one of the biggest pro of SDS category, is the acceptance percentage. So basically, if you apply through SDS, the chances of you getting your study permit is way higher than if you apply through non-SDS. If you apply through SDS, usually they say that the success rate is about 75 to 80%, but if you apply through non-SDS, it is about 60 to 65%. 4%. So yeah, these are the few main comparisons between SDS and non-SDS. Although when I applied through SDS categories, I still provided all financial related documents that I had to prove that, okay, I have enough finances to support my study here in Canada. Moving ahead, if you are planning to come to Canada, I would advise you guys to make sure that you have all the documents that you would need, be it CA report, be it all your degree certificates, be it anything related to your employment. Just make sure you have a thorough and strong application before you submit through a non-SDS. I'm back at my original frame. So guys, if you're still watching this video and if you like all the content that I put out, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, if you have already subscribed, please do not forget to hit that like button and add your comments in the comment section below. It's gonna boost my morale a lot and will push me forward to make more such videos for you guys, and also help this channel grow a little bit further. And now let's talk about another major update which has been put out, which is related to visitor visas for Canada. So if you don't know already, if you ever apply for visitor visa for Canada, you usually always get 10 years of visitor visas, and that to multiple entry. But with the recent update, now you may or may not get multiple entry 10 years of visa. It completely depends on the visa officer. They might give you like only 15 days of visitor visa, that to single entry, or they may give you 5 years of visitor visa of multiple entries, and you never know. And that is how it is gonna be, and it's not gonna be 10 years by default. So now let's talk about what exactly is the single entry and multiple entry. So basically, if you have given a visitor visa with single entry, for the duration of your visa applicability, you can come to Canada only once. So say if you have been given a visitor visa of 3 months, you can come to Canada once. And if you ever plan to leave Canada, if you want to come back to Canada, you have to reapply for your visitor visa, and the previous visa will be disregarded. So that's what exactly means single entry. And when we say multiple entry, that means for the period of your visa validity, you can come multiple times in Canada and leave multiple times as well. So you don't need to apply for a new visa every time you come to Canada. So that's what exactly means by single entry and multiple entry. Again, how it's gonna impact us is basically mostly all the students who want their parents to come here to Canada. Specifically, usually we call our parents on convocation day. Earlier, when people used to apply for their parents' visitor visa on convocation day, parents used to get 10 years of visitor visa with multiple entries. But now it completely would depend on multiple factors, and also each individual will be assessed by the visa officer, and they will decide how long would they want to give that visitor visa to that particular individual, and will it be single entry or multiple entry. There are obviously certain factors that the visa officers are going to take into consideration, the very first being the purpose of visit. So that is the main thing that the visa officer is going to consider, whether you are coming here to meet your family, or you're here for any special event, you're here for a conference. So if you're coming for a event or an occasion, they might just give you only a smaller duration of visitor visa with a single entry. And if you are coming here to meet your family, they might give you a longer duration of visitor visa with multiple entry. But again, it will completely depend on what is your purpose of visit here, and are you planning to go back from where you are coming or not. Another factor is financial stability, how financially stable you are when you are applying for the visitor visa. If you have enough finances, if you have a job back in your home country, if you are financially really strong, they might give you multiple entry visa. Or if your visit is being sponsored by the host who is here in Canada, they might also consider the financial stability of the particular host as well, who is calling you to visit them. Another important factor is your medical condition. If you have any illness, or if your medical condition is such that it can worsen over time, that can also be a good consideration for the visa officer to maybe not grant you a longer duration of visitor visa and instead give you a smaller duration of visitor visa for a single entry, considering again what is your main purpose of visiting to Canada. Unless you're coming to Canada for maybe some sort of treatment for your medical condition, for that they might give you some multiple entry visa for a longer duration as well, considering your situation, your condition. There are some other additional factors as well which will obviously impact whether you're going to get a single entry or multiple entry shorter or longer duration of visitor visa, which also includes how strong your ties are to your home country. So they would also consider like if you have stronger family ties, you have family obligations that you have to go back to your home country. Also, if you are employed, then obviously you have to go back to your employer, so you can provide a letter from your employer to prove that obviously you are working back in your home country, you're here for a certain duration of time and you're gonna go back. All these things will obviously influence the decision of visa officer to provide you multiple entry visa, hopefully. Another thing that usually people don't consider, but is also another important factor for visa officer that they can consider, which is usually what happened with the US visa as well when you apply for the United States of America visa, is your travel history. So basically, if you have traveled to other countries and you have all those stamps on your passport, it can also influence visa officer to give you multiple entry because you have traveled to other countries as well. So that gives them assurance that okay, this person is going to come to Canada, visit as a visitor, and will head back to their home country. And last but not the least is if you have ever got refusals. Not just when you applied for Canada visitor visa, but also like if you have applied for any other visitor visa to any other country and if you have got any refusals, they might look into the actual reasoning behind those refusals, and that might impact their decision to just give you a single entry visa. So it completely depends on your situation, on your documentations, and also on the visa officer how they feel your situation as, and they feel what should be apt for your purpose to visit Canada to give you either single entry or multiple entry visa, also a shorter or longer duration of visitor visa. All in all, guys, you can see that Canada is trying to limit the number of people who are coming inside Canada, and you may think that okay, why but the visitor visa, what can be the reasoning behind it? And all I can think of is people usually come to Canada on visitor visa, but then they try to find something here to basically either LMIA or any other route to stay in Canada and never leave. And that's what Canada may be trying to prevent happening in future and make it even stricter for people to get visas to come to Canada. Not only that, you might even think like why Canada has stopped STA stream and kept non-STA stream, because if we see in one perspective, obviously if somebody is applying through STA stream, it also helps the IRCC to basically review the applications way faster because they have everything that they need in a concise and structured manner. But instead they thought to completely stop it, although they have mentioned that they want to keep it fair and square. But what I feel is another reason might be because with non-SDAs they get a longer period of time to approve or reject an application, and that would obviously mean lesser number of applications getting approved, lesser number of students coming to Canada, and lesser number of applications processed per year. So yeah guys, these are the details about these latest two announcements which have been put out. I hope I could give you all the briefs and everything that you might need for these two announcements. If you have any other further questions, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Do like the video, add your comments in the comment section below. Until next time guys, bye.